I'm going to go over a couple of new features in SpatialXL, which I've put in to enhance the user experience, and especially experience of those who are using SpatialXL to create a lot of data. First thing I'm going to show you here is what we can do with our text labels. So here we have some points from a spreadsheet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on some text labels. Let's display the name of the person involved. When you look at this picture here, the names aren't so clear because it's clashing with the background. Well, we've got some new text options now. You can go text effects, and you'll notice here it's been a bit simplified, but we do have an option here to give a halo to our text. So let's make a halo 2 pixels wide, make the halo color white, and there we go, and our text is much more readable now with all the background like that. Can you turn that off quickly? Usual way. Text effects. And there we go, back to normal. Okay, so the next thing I want to show is the zoom. What we've done is, at the moment, if you were to say, let's just say zoom to this particular record here. If I zoom to it, zoom doesn't go in far enough by default because it's a point. So what you can do is you can choose how deep you want it to go. Just say I'd like it to go to, let's get it down to road level, about like that. That's what I'd like my zoom level to be. From now on, if I do my zoom, it will maintain this particular zoom level. So I can now say it's zoom selected, and there we go, and so on. Okay, the next feature is a feature to help people who want to quickly look at the data that's in a spreadsheet in an external program. So we've added a new button over here, and it's called Launch. What you can do with Launch is you can define an external program or URL to be kicked off based upon the current row in your spreadsheet. How the launcher works is, depending upon your current row in a spreadsheet, it will invoke an external program with data from that row. This can be used to, for example, open up Google Maps at a particular coordinate, or open up Google Maps searching for a particular address, or even opening up Bing Maps or any other actual external application passing data from your spreadsheet. Launcher is controlled from this launch button over here, and what you do is you can open it up and you can manage, or you can launch based on some setup launchers. I've set up 2 here already. I'm going to go into Manage option just to show you how it works. So here I've done an address search option, which will do a Google address search. Now what you do is you need to know what the format is of the URL, if it's a website you're bringing up, like it is in this case with Google. So if we look inside here, you'll see that we need to pass the search, in the search URL, we need to pass what you're searching for. So what we do is we enclose the column of the row you want to include in it in curly braces in this URL string, and SpatialXL will replace that curly brace expression with the value in that column, and the curly braces tells it to make it work inside a URL. In other words, if there's spaces in it, it'll convert the spaces into what a URL expects for a space, because URLs do not accept spaces. So that's the address search. One is defined like that, and then there's another one which will jump to coordinates that you specify. And in this one here, the coordinates are specified there with the columns W and V, These are in square brackets because we don't need to do any URL encoding or make them friendly for URLs. We just want the numbers to go straight through. And that's how you can define your own launchers. You can add a new one here, you give it a name, and you can specify a program name, a web link, etc., and it will invoke it. So, and once you've saved these, you can just exit it. These particular URLs or these particular launch items are saved with your workbook. So next time you open the workbook, they will be there. If you want to give these to a friend of yours, you can save it to a file. And if you want to load some that your friend has set up, you can append from a file that's been saved before, or you can just clear what you've got and load from that file using this button here. Let's demonstrate how the launch works. So I configured the launch to look at the street column when it does the address search. So I'm going to do a test here. Let's look at Haupt Street, and I only have to be somewhere in the column, and then I just click launch and I do address search. And there you go, it brings up Google with Haupt Street. This is Haupt Street in Boksburg, but maybe there are other Haupt Streets. We were actually looking at Port Elizabeth in this data, so I can click there, and there's the Port Elizabeth Haupt Street. Similarly for the coordinates, if there are coordinates for this particular row here, which further on the worksheet here, and you saw it was columns V and W, and there they are. Well, I don't have to be on them, I can just be on the row, and again I just go launch and I do coordinates, and there we go, we jump to the particular coordinates specified. Okay, the next option, the next item which we put in here, which can be quite useful, is I notice a lot of work was being done with a lot of setups in layers. So I'll give you an example. We're going to drag in a layer here. Okay, we'll zoom to the data and we can see there what our theme looks like, what this data for this theme looks like. So this particular layer has quite a few themes set up in it. You see here a real lot of themes. Now maybe a particular theme, let's just say for example, how about dominant top condition? There's our particular theme. Now let's assume we want to use this theme which we've set up, which is quite extensive. We want to set this up. We want to use it on another file with similar data source. What you can do is you can go Start, Themes. See there's an option here to save a theme to a file and load a theme from a file. So I literally could save this current theme and we'll call this DOM. And then I can be finished with that. Then what I could do is I can hide this layer, I can bring in the files with the same format as that particular layer. Then I can go to its theme options. It warns me because it's going to overwrite this current theme. And there's a DOM theme that I wanted to load. And I'll go OK. There you go. So I've applied that theme to this new file here, separate to the other one. Another option we can use, I'm going to first remove this one we just created here. Now, notice here that this particular layer really has a lot of themes. And maybe I want to create another layer with a data set with the same structure, but different data. And I want to get all these themes across. Well, there's a way to do that as well now. What we can do is I'm going to there's a copy option, which is literally going to copy that whole layer. What I can do then is I can go down here again and I can go paste. There's another copy. You'll see it is identical. Going to the themes, there they are. All I can do now is I can go to the data source for this layer and change it. And I've replicated all those themes between the two layers. I'll just show you. All those themes. All those themes. If there were sub-layers, the sub-layers would have been copied as well. That really covers the main new features in the new version of SpatialXL. One more point here on the launch menu. When you're going to manage, there are predefined launchers. There will be more in future. At the moment there are 2. And the 2 predefined are exactly the ones that I demonstrated over here. When you do add one of the predefined, and I'll show you how you do it, you just click it. It'll add a new one there for you. You just need to go in and replace, for example, the column to search, replace that text with the actual column UV or AB or whatever it is in Excel that you want to do the search on. And there you go. If you want to remove one of these, you can just remove it like that. There you go. Well, that's a summary of the new features in SpatialXL.